In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 2025 WWE wish list. So these are things that I hope happen in 2025, like certain NXT call-ups, debuts in the WWE, championship changes, pushes, etc. And I'll try to give you my best reasoning as to why I'd like to see it, but really at the end of the day, I want to see it because I want to see it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. By the way, if you do want more wrestling content, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, you get so much more extra content that never gets uploaded here to YouTube. So go check it out. Link in the description or link in the pinned comment. Let's start the video. All right, so I figured that everyone and their mother thought that I was going to put this on here. And guess what? Yes, I am still this much of a basic bitch. John Cena winning a world championship and becoming the 17-time world champion, surpassing Ric Flair to become the winningest world champion in WWE history. That is at the very tippity top of the mountain of Mr. SantiZap's wish list in 2025. I don't want to mince words either. I want Super Cena. I want a Cena that is unstoppable. I want to have, for this last run, for this final hoorah, the Cena that we all grew to love and also grew to hate. Which I think also adds to what I want to say next, which I also want him to win other things, other major accolades. I want him to maybe win the King of the Ring. I want him to win Money in the Bank. I want him to win the Royal Rumble. I want him to win the Elimination Chamber. I want him to win everything. I want an unstoppable Super Cena that also becomes a Grand Slam champion and wins the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sorry, but this is the last time that we have an opportunity to do this. This is it. This is the final send-off of the GOAT. We have to make sure that the final send-off is nothing short of amazing and as over the top as it possibly can be. Please also give us a bunch of dream matches that we've been begging for during this final run for John Cena, namely a John Cena versus Drew McIntyre. But really, if I can encompass everything that I'm trying to say here, is just make John Cena's retirement tour as awesome and as bountiful with full of wins as possible. I desperately hope that Netflix doesn't shit the bed, okay? I understand if you're an American watching this video, it might not be as big of a deal because you're only getting Monday Night Raw, but the rest of the world, and I count as that being in Canada, we get everything on Netflix. All of our shows, all of our SmackDowns, Raws, PLEs, NXT, it's gonna be on Netflix. So if Netflix shits the bed, we won't have access to all of WWE programming. And here's the thing, do I have optimism that it'll be good? Of course I do. This is Netflix. This is a giant organization, and they dropped $5 billion in order to be able to get the rights to WWE programming. My gut tells me, and logic dictates, that they should be ready for this. They should absolutely have the capacity to be able to live stream this on a weekly basis without issue, without delay. But here's the thing, I understand that it's a different scale, but the Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul debacle that was on Netflix definitely brought my overall optimism that Netflix can fully handle this without any sort of hiccups. From 100% I was sure they were going to be fine to I'm only 70% sure that they're going to be fine. I understand that was 65 million people, and I don't think that 65 million people are going to be tuning in for WWE programming, but still, it still begs the question. It still adds this overlooming issue and overlooming question mark, and I desperately hope that in 2025 that this is a thing of the past, that it's not a problem at all for WWE programming. Look, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I do sincerely hope that we get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Every year that goes by now, the less and less that this match becomes as juicy as we want it to be. Right now is the perfect time. I know that there are rumors that The Rock will not even be involved at WrestleMania in any way, shape, or form, but I beg thee, if The Rock is available, don't try to overcomplicate this. Don't try and do Rock and Cody Rhodes at Mania 41 and then Rock and Roman down the line. Just do Rock and Roman, all right? Get it out of the way. That is the dream match. If we have The Rock having matches against other people and something happens shortly in the future with movie schedules or injuries, and it means that we never get The Rock versus Roman Reigns, we will be kicking ourselves. If The Rock versus Roman Reigns is there and available as a match at WrestleMania 41, don't overthink it, just do it. Look, I understand that the hype for Joe Hendry is nowhere near as much as, okay, look, I kind of see it. Some people have said that I'm just Latino Jose Hendry here, but hey, here we are nonetheless. Look, I want Joe Hendry in the WWE main roster. I'm not saying that he needs to make the jump over from TNA completely, but I want to see him in something. And of course, you know what that something is, the Royal Rumble. We've seen him on NXT. We saw the insane reception that he got in NXT. People loved him. It was like the highest viewed social media clip in WWE. More than everything that they garnered at WrestleMania 40 was with this man, Joe Hendry. A Joe Hendry Royal Rumble appearance would break the fucking internet, and we all want to see this, please. My next bit on the wish list involves AEW a little bit, but I would like to see current AEW talent Ricky Starks make the jump over to the WWE. If you haven't seen the Ricky Starks and Chris Van Vliet interview, you probably should, because it'll add a lot more context to this piece of my wish list. Because from what I can at the very least gather as a third party listening to that podcast, there is no need for Ricky Starks in AEW. They don't want him. They don't want to use him. And it seems like he's not particularly the most happy being there. He wants to wrestle. And if he wants to wrestle and AEW won't let him, hopefully it'll be under a WWE banner. And for me personally, Ricky Starks is one of my favorite like AEW original talents. When I got into AEW and I was trying to fall in love with characters that I didn't already know from WWE, the first one that I gravitated to was Ricky Starks, because he truly is fantastic in so many different aspects of being a professional wrestler, at the very least from the perspective of a fan. I personally wouldn't hate seeing him go to NXT. Is he main roster ready? Absolutely. So was Ethan Page, and Ethan Page really benefited from having some time in NXT, and I feel like they could basically do a cut and paste of how they handled Ethan Page and use Ricky Starks in that manner on NXT. I feel like so many people would love that. Okay, so I know that on screen right now I have Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, but my prediction doesn't exactly have to necessarily hinge on these two, but I'm going to make a little bit of a prediction towards this wish list. I think that somewhere down the line, NXT is trying to give us the dream match of Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's at NXT Stand and Deliver. If this is one of the matches, have the women of NXT main event and close Stand and Deliver. Whether it's these two, whether it's a triple threat that maybe also involves Roxanne Perez, whatever it might be, if there is a division of NXT that has earned and frankly just deserves to close their biggest show of the year, it's the women's division. Not only based on how great their body of work has been in 2024 and in probably the early portion of 2025, but because of this, the star power, the sheer star power that they've brought over. And you combine the star power plus how greatly received the women's work of NXT has been over the last year, then I think you've got the perfect storm to finally pull the trigger on a big move like this by having the women main event and close your biggest show of the year, Stand and Deliver. So my wish list, if I have to dumb it down, is for the women of NXT to main event, Stand and Deliver this year. Gonna keep this one simple as well. I want to get Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair, and I do want this at WrestleMania. I love their tag team. I think that they were one of the best tag teams of the year, but come on, we all know that the star power of these two is as individuals. They're great as a tag team, but we've got ourselves like generational talent in both Bianca and Jade Cargill as singles megastars, and people desperately want to see this matchup. I'm of the same boat, honestly, as The Rock and Roman Reigns, where if the match is available, if they're both healthy and they have no other programs planned for WrestleMania 41, just do this. Don't overcomplicate it. Give us Bianca versus Jade 2025. Do not try to push this further than we need to. I want to see my boy Ludwig Kaiser get a push. And obviously that's subjective as to like what that means. It could be a world title push, maybe a King of the Ring nod. Maybe he wins a Money in the Bank. Maybe he wins some sort of singles accolade like a US title or an Intercontinental Championship. But I feel like this should be the year that Ludwig Kaiser cements himself as a top tier mid-card player. So that's what I desperately want to see. I want to see the WWE take what they have in this amazing talent that is Ludwig Kaiser and use him as such and make him one of the cornerstones in 2025's mid-card division of Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. A CM Punk championship run. Again, I started it off with a bit of a basic bitch answer. Here's another one. You probably assumed that I wanted CM Punk to win the world championship at some point in 2025, and I'm putting it on the wish list. I don't think that I really need to explain why. Like, CM Punk is awesome. Who doesn't love CM Punk? Actually, I know some people that don't love CM Punk, but CM Punk's run in the WWE right now is so much fun, so entertaining, and honestly, he's like the biggest, most over babyface right now on Monday Night Raw. Let's capitalize on this. Let's do one more run with CM Punk as a world champion. Let's treat him like a world champion this time and actually let him main event PLEs, unlike when he was on that amazing run in 2013 when he couldn't main event jack shit. Let's have a proper, maybe last hurrah as CM Punk as your world champion in 2025. Give me Carmelo Hayes winning Money in the Bank. I debated between Money in the Bank and King of the Ring, but it just feels like Money in the Bank, Mellow in the Bank just fits so much better for the type of character that Carmelo Hayes is. This braggadocious piece of shit young guy that thinks that his shit smells sweeter than everyone. And honestly, when you talk about a character like that, those are the best types of characters to be carrying around the Money in the Bank briefcase. But honestly, at this point, I feel like getting the Money in the Bank briefcase can be a little bit of a curse because they're just going to book you into oblivion anyway. 2025, give me the Lucha Brothers together in the WWE. I feel like we all know cat's out of the bag. Penta is coming to the WWE. We're already getting those vignettes of a pentagram and a zero. It's kind of obvious, don't you think? But we know that right now we have Rey Fenix in this like contractual purgatory in AEW where he doesn't want to be there, but he's being forced to stay there for the rest of his contract as AEW is contractually allowed to do. Hopefully that we are able to see Rey Fenix leave that contract, leave that relationship that's clearly not working for either side, and to have him teamed up alongside Penta and make tag team wrestling great again. I want all the good things to happen to Dominic Mysterio in 2024, but namely, I would like Dominic Mysterio to just either break away from the Judgment Day or just outright become the new leader of the Judgment Day. I just want to see Dominic Mysterio take on a bigger role in 2025. It felt like for portions of 2024 that he was more than just like a background character, and it took a while in 2024 for him to kind of start to take the limelight. I want the full spotlight on Dominic Mysterio in 2025, maybe similar to a Ludwig Kaiser where he gets a push and wins some sort of major singles accolade in the WWE, something that he's yet to do on the main roster so far in his career. Why not? I'm wishing for AJ Lee at some point in 2025. I don't know if it has to be as an in-ring competitor, but I think it'd be cool to use AJ Lee in a storyline, even if it's just seeing her in the arena as a fan during a Punk match, or maybe she wants to return to full-time wrestling again. Maybe she returns at the Royal Rumble, but I want to see AJ Lee on WWE programming in some capacity in 2025. I mean, a guy can hope. Another person that I want to see on my WWE screen this year is Matt Cardona, especially now with Chelsea Green as a US champion. If we can get Matt Cardona coming to the WWE and creating the most annoying Weasley power couple that the WWE has ever seen, it would be a missed opportunity. If Cardona is available and if he's willing, I would love to see him in WWE programming in 2025. So this next one is kind of a continuation of what they've already been doing in 2024, but I loved it so much that I want them to do it again. I want them to take all of these WWE Premium Live events on the road and go all over the world, baby. Those PLEs in Europe and Australia, all over the place, were just fantastic, and I would love WWE to continue on this pace of trying to become a global conglomerate. I want to see shows like Raw, SmackDown, PLEs all over the world. An African show would be sick, a South American American show would be awesome. A show in China, why not? I want to see them anywhere and everywhere all at once, because it'll help us rediscover awesome crowds like how we discovered how great the Leon crowd was. Let's run this back, baby, in 2025. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre is damn near the top of my wish list this year. Maybe if it's not The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 41, maybe they're setting up McIntyre and Roman at WrestleMania 41. We have a 2-night SummerSlam. That could be one of the major matches there. So there's plenty of opportunity and plenty of easy story routes that we can take that can give us destination Roman versus Drew McIntyre again. These two right now are in their absolute prime in terms of work and in terms of their character, and we've never seen them both at their prime. Sure, we saw babyface Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle versus prime tribal chief Roman Reigns, but this version of Drew McIntyre is lights and years above that one. That this is the new prime of Drew McIntyre. Give me these two at some point in 2025, please. Okay, so 2025, Wyatt 6. I need the Wyatt 6 to do two things, all right? I need them to have feuds with the New Day and with Dominic Mysterio or the Judgment Day. Those are the two feuds that I want to see. I want them to move on from the Final Testament feud as fast as possible, because a feud and a storyline with both the New Day and Dominic Mysterio / the Judgment Day could honestly be something that they could pull off at WrestleMania, and it could be so incredibly entertaining, because what they're doing right now with Final Testament, this ain't it. I could have put a whole bunch of NXT call-ups on here, but there's one that I feel like it's time. I feel like we've seen enough of what we need to see in NXT, and I wish that he gets called up to the main roster in 2025. That is Wesley. Again, there's so many that I could pick from NXT that I would love to see, but this one in particularly really stands out because before he was known as just a great worker, and over the last couple of months, he's flourished as a fantastic character as well, demonstrating that he can play the plucky underdog babyface, but also the annoying Weasley ass heel that he's playing right now. I feel like if there's anybody that is from head to toe ready for the main roster yesterday, it's Wesley. I feel like I make this wish every year, but make the Street Profits great again, please, 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 or split them. I'll take that too. I'll take a Montez Ford and a D'Angelo Hawkins push separate from one another. That's fine. But at the very least, push them together if you're going to keep them together. I don't think that we should be going another year, another full calendar freaking year without one of the best tag teams, the Street Profits, holding tag team gold. So my wish list is for these guys to be made great again and to win championship gold, either as singles or honestly, it should just be as a tag team. Let's not overcomplicate this. My wish for 2025 is for the WWE Undisputed Championship to not be this thing that only changes hands at WrestleMania or only changes hands once every 2 years. I would love for the unpredictability of the World Heavyweight Championship to come back to the Undisputed Championship as well, so that these matches and storylines and feuds that Cody Rhodes has don't feel like filler feuds as we wait for bigger and badder things for Cody Rhodes. I want unpredictability with the Undisputed Championship. I want to see, honestly, 3 different champions, 4 different champions in 2025. I think we're fine. I feel like if we go back to 4 3-month reigns, that it's not going to destroy the allure of this championship. I want the main roster to steal from NXT the Iron Survivor matches, because these are so entertaining. It's one of my favorite gimmick matches that WWE has, and they're perfecting it down in NXT, and I feel like we could do a really cool version of this in 2025 with the main roster. So I'd like to see the main roster take a crack at Iron Survivor. And last but not least, I gotta have Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at some point this year, okay? All right, I predicted this last year. I was wanting it last year, and we didn't really even come that close to it at all. This is one of the marquee feuds left for Cody Rhodes and this championship, and I don't think that you could or should continue to push this beyond 2025, so give me this, baby. All right, folks, thank you so much. That is my wish list. Now is your chance to tell me yours. Let me know down in the comments what's 1, 2, or maybe even 3 pieces of WWE wishes that you have for 2025, but that's it. Okay, bye. Okay, get out of here.